Whoops.
Well, how in
Whoa.
the hell are we gonna get down there? And
Yeah.
worse, how are we gonna get out?
Yeah, we got a problem.
Well, even like those canyons that you travel north of Taos.
Yeah.
On that state highway. Whew, those are deep.
Yeah.
And all of them had water in them. Not very much, but all of them had water in them. You figured as dry as it was, there wouldn't be nothing. You got a whole bunch of cottonwood trees down there. There won't be as many trees in 5 years as there is right now.
Boy, that old lake is low. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yet that little lake that's above the golf course, you know.
Oh,
just-
yeah, Monteverde. Yeah,
It's got water in
it
it.
stays pretty full.
There were a lot of people out there
Kayaking and
doing the
fishing.
recreation, you know.
We've got kayaks. We used to take cruises out there. Get a little farther around, but they always.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible with liberty and justice for all. Dear God, we gather today to do the work of the county. Be with us, guide and direct us, give us wisdom and courage to do the right things for the right reason. Give patience and honor to those here gathered, that all our words and actions be pleasing in your sight. And if it be your will, please send generous rain to this region. In your name we pray. Amen.
Next thing on the agenda is the consent agenda. Do we have any corrections or changes to that? Hearing none, I'll hear a motion.
I so move.
Second.
We have a motion to approve and a second. Any other comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. Next is special presentations. I don't believe we have anything today. Okay, and public comment. The one I have on here is Therese Hartnett. Good morning.
I just have a few questions. I went to the last meeting about the energy providers, and I was left with some questions. None of you asked any questions, even though the Garden City Telegram said that you were being taught about their plan. I've been assured that this data center is not a done deal, but it does seem like Finney County has been engaged, and the cake is being bought, the dress is bought, the hall is arranged, and I'm getting a little skeptical about how far along in this process we are. The energy companies said that they're in phase 2. They said that they're going past the NDA stage. That put off alarm bells in my head. My commissioner did ask a question, but it only seemed to underline the points they were making about that it's not going to cost our residents any more money to have these data centers come into our area. And just this week, the Planning Commission changed the zoning so that a 10 megawatt micro center can come in. Now, Garden City only has 50 megawatts. That's what they use, the whole city. And the energy companies, seemed to me they were saying that this hyperscale data center is 500 megawatts. That's 10 times the amount of energy that the whole city of Garden City uses. And then they were saying the transmission lines are not due to the data center load, that it's due to the weather or the failing infrastructure, but they're putting up these lines right up 83. Now, when you do transmission lines, you get eminent domain is legally, so if you live on around 83 going north, that might be a problem for you if you don't want to give up your land, because these transmission substations and the towers are quite large. Anyway, why do we need double capacity transmission lines if they're not building them for the data centers? So it seemed like the Wheatland guy, he's saying, our mission is if you flip a switch, the lights come on. Well, the lights don't come on if you can't pay your electric bill. So I just feel like the plan with all these NDAs and electric companies are already pretty much in the works. So I'm not sure that we haven't actually accepted our engagement ring with this data center. And I would like to have heard more questions from our commissioners about exactly, how this is going to affect, our Finney County residents. If the hyperscale data center has to provide its own power, does that mean we're going to blanket the entire Finney County with these reptilian solar scales and wind towers? I mean, is that going to be what our landscape looks like? And they said, well, we have to provide power for all comers. Well, it seems to me that doesn't seem like a good rule. So every time someone wants to come to Finney County, we have to accommodate them and then end up sharing the load expense with our residents. That doesn't seem like it's helping the Finney County residents. So it's basically, I feel like I'm a little bit in the dark, even though the commissioners have been very kind in talking to me when I wanted to talk to them, but I'm not getting the full story. That's what I feel like. Thank you.
Thank you, Therese. Does anybody else have public comment? Hearing none, we'll close the public comment. Having no old business, we'll move on to the new business, item 6A.
Good morning, Madam Chair and Commissioners.
Good morning.
Just this little bit. The Board of County Commissioners is asked to consider and approve the professional service agreement with the Architect LLC for the architectural and design services of the Finney County Roof Project. On June 1st, 2026, the Board of County Commissioners approved the selection of the Architect LLC to provide architectural and design services for Finney County's roof project following a request for qualification process. The Architect LLC received the highest overall score from 7-member selection committee and was determined to be the firm best qualified to assist the county on this project. The project is associated with the July 6, 2024 hail loss and includes roof replacement, restoration, and related repairs of 11 different county-owned facilities. The updated insurance estimate was completed on October 20th, 2025, and provides the current insurance scope and replacement costs information for the affected facilities. Following the board selection, county staff worked with Architect LLC to develop a professional services agreement utilizing the American Institute of Architects, AIA, standard form B104 agreement, which is attached. The agreement establishes the scope of services, project responsibilities, compensation, and contractual terms for the project. Under the agreement, the Architect LLC will review the insurance documentation and exist roof conditions, develop construction documents and specifications, assist the county with bidding, provide construction administration and project oversight, and assist with the project closeout. The architect will also coordinate the county staff throughout the project and provide recommendations regarding differences identified between existing conditions and insurance scope. The architect's agreement identifies that the October 20th, 2025 insurance estimate as the basis of the base bid project. Initial roofing construction budget is approximately $1,778,426, excluding approximately $80,800 $89 in non-roof repairs related to HVAC equipment, vents, fans, louvers, exterior lighting, and audiovisual equipment. Compensation under the agreement is based on a fee of 6.5% of the cost of work, with a not-to-exceed amount of $124,000 for basic services. Additional services, if required and authorized by the county, will be compensated in accordance with the hourly rate schedule contained in this agreement. Approval of the agreement will authorize the Architect LLC to begin evaluating the facilities, finalizing the scope, preparing construction documents, and moving the project into bidding process. So before you, there's three alternatives. The Board of County Commissioners may approve the professional services agreement with the Architect LLC and authorize the chair to execute the agreement. The second, the Board of County Commissioners may deny the professional services agreement with the Architect LLC. And then the third alternative, the Board of County Commissioners may give staff further direction. Staff recommends alternative one, which the Board of County Commissioners approve the professional services agreement with the Architect LLC and authorize the chair to execute this agreement. Fiscal impact for this, the agreement does provide for compensation based upon a 6.5% of the cost of work with a not to exceed of $124,000 for basic services. Funding for these services will be paid from the Building Maintenance Capital Reserve Fund, GL Code 171-16-5510, which has a current balance of $2,936,910.86. Additional services, if required and authorized, will be compensated in accordance with the fee schedule contained within this agreement. Any questions I can answer?
Any questions? Do we have a motion?
Madam Chair, I move that the Board of County Commissioners approve the professional service agreement with the Architect LLC and authorize the chair to execute the agreement.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries.
All right, thank you.
Item 6B, public hearing.
We would have to move on to the next agenda item. The public hearing isn't scheduled till 8:45.
Let's see, we'll skip the 8:51. How about 6D? Is that right?
Did we skip Beth?
Good morning, Madam Chair, Commissioners. The Board of County Commissioners is asked to consider and approve Resolution 29-2026, which amends the property tax abatement timing and in lieu of tax payments paid by the Garden City Co-op prescribed in Resolution 9-2026 to align with the order of the Board of Tax Appeals. On March 14th, 2026, the Board of County Commissioners held a public hearing and adopted Resolution 9-2026, which gave local approval and support for an economic development exemption, EDX, application by the Garden City Co-op pursuant to Article 11, Section 13 of the Kansas Constitution, in accordance with the Finney County Tax Abatement Policy. The required application was subsequently filed with the Board of Tax Appeals by the Finney County Appraiser's Office. Upon examination of the exemption application, the Board of Tax Appeals found that the ad valorem tax exemption timing outlined in Resolution 9-2026 does not align with the timing provisions in Article 11, Section 13 of the Kansas Constitution. This timing mismatch created a scenario where the granted ad valorem tax exemption and in lieu of tax payments prescribed by Resolution 9-2026 did not align. Resolution 29-2026 seeks to adjust the in lieu tax payment requirements to align with the Board of Tax Appeals a granted ad valorem tax exemption. So there are two alternatives for the governing body to choose from. One, the Board of County Commissioners may adopt Resolution 29-2026 and authorize the Vice Chair to sign. Two, the Board of County Commissioners may adopt Resolution 29-2026 and provide staff with further direction. Recommendation, staff recommends alternative one, the Board of County Commissioners adopt Resolution 29-2026 and authorize the Vice Chair to sign, or in this case, the Chair. And the fiscal policy impact is the ad valorem tax exemption ordered by the Board of Tax Appeals reduced tax revenue collected in the tax year 2025 by the state of Kansas, Finney County, Garden City Community College, USD 363, Sherlock Township, and Drainage District 1. The collection of this revenue was accounted for in each entity's 2026 operating budget. Passage of this resolution allows for the collection of an in lieu of tax payment in the tax year 2025, which will offset part of the reduced ad valorem tax revenue, and the difference will be refunded to the Garden City Co-op. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any comments or questions, commissioners?
Madam Chair, I move that we adopt alternative number 1 and authorize the chair to sign.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
And looks like we're 1 minute away, so.
Madam Chair, I would move on to item F6E, and then at 8:45, we'll have to stop that item.
We can start it later.
Right.
Time we can finish that one.
Yeah. Okay, so we can start it later. So we'll just finish item 6E and then go into the public hearing afterward.
Okay, 6E, waiver request.
Good morning. Abigail Jarmer, Planning Technician. The Board of County Commissioners is asked to consider a waiver request for the property generally located at 403 Burnside Drive, Finney County, Kansas. The property owner, Olga Solis, is requesting a waiver from the Finney County zoning regulations and Finney County Environmental Code to allow the connection of electrical services for a manufactured home generally located at 403 East Burnside Drive, Finney County, Kansas. The property is currently zoned MHS, Manufactured Home Subdivision District, and contains approximately 0.39 acres. There is a single-family home, a vacant manufactured home, and an accessory structure existing on the property. The owner would like to connect electrical services to the vacant manufactured home as she plans to retire soon and would like to occupy the home and be near her family. However, the property and the manufactured home, do not meet the minimum requirements of the Finney County zoning regulations and environmental code and are considered nonconforming. According to section 22.080 of the Finney County zoning regulations, nonconforming uses as defined herein may be permitted to continue provided that no structural alterations except those required by law or resolution are made therein, and that the nonconforming use is not discontinued or abandoned for a period of 1 year, and was, 1, legally established at the time of the adoption of the county zoning regulations, 2, legally established at the time of an amendment was made to the county zoning regulations so as to transfer the land to a more restricted district, as the case may be, or 3, legally established prior to the adoption of the current county zoning regulations and amendments thereto. The electrical service has been disconnected since 2018. Since the use has been discontinued for more than a year, a waiver must be granted to allow the reconnection of electrical service. Section 11-B.010 of the Finney County zoning regulations defines a manufactured home as a factory-built home or structure federally regulated by the HUD Code and built in 1986 or newer, placed upon a permanent foundation approved by the chief building inspector or designee. Section 11-B.020 of the Finney County zoning regulations states manufactured homes as defined in section 11-B.010 are a permitted use within the MHS district. Additionally, section 11-B.030 allows manufactured homes of model years 1976 to 1985 as a conditional use within the MHS district, subject to approval of a conditional use permit from the Board of Zoning Appeals. However, the manufactured home has a model year of 1968. Since the manufactured home is older than the minimum age requirement for a permitted or conditional use within the MHS district, a waiver from this section is required to allow for the manufactured home to reconnect to electrical service. According to section 11-B.050, the maximum lot coverage within the MHS district by all buildings, principal and accessory, shall not exceed 40%, not more than one single-family dwelling may be placed on a lot. There is currently a single-family home in addition to the manufactured home on the property, which exceeds the maximum lot coverage requirements. A waiver from the section would be required to allow the existing manufactured home to be connected to electrical services. Section 11-B.040 of the Finney County zoning regulations states that the minimum lot size requirements for the MHS district are as follows. Subject to the county environmental code and except as otherwise provided in Article 23 of this zoning regulations, no building shall be erected or altered on a lot which makes provisions for less than 8,000 square feet of lot area. Minimum lot widths shall be not less than 80 feet of the minimum lot depth, shall not be less than 100 feet. Section 2-5.08B, suitable sites of the Finney County Environmental Code states no site shall be approved if the site contains less than 2 acres of land exclusive of roads, streets, and other public right-of-way or easements, provided this area requirement may be reduced to 1 acre if the property is served by an approved public water supply. The property is served by a private well and is less than the 2-acre lot size requirement. There is currently 2 septic systems on the property, one serving the single-family home and the other serving the manufactured home. The septic system serving the manufactured home is currently located underneath the home. In accordance with the State of Kansas Department of Health and Environment Bulletin 4-2, the minimum separation distance between a septic system and a structure is 10 feet. The property owner has been notified that if this waiver request is approved, the current septic system must be removed and replaced in a location that maintains the proper distances from water service lines, other structures, and property lines. Attached is the sketch submitted by the plumber with the proposed layout of the new septic system for the manufactured home. There are 3 alternatives before you this morning. 1, the Board of County Commissioners may approve the waiver from the requirements of sections 11-B.020, 11-B.030, 11-B.040, 11-B.050, and 22.080 of the Finney County zoning regulations, and section 2-5.8B of the Finney County Environmental Code to allow the electrical service to be reconnected to the manufactured home. 2, the Board of County Commissioners may not approve the waiver from sections 11-B.020, 11-B.030, 11-B.040, 11-B.050, and 22.080 of the Finney County zoning regulations, and section 2-5.8B of the Finney County Environmental Code to allow the electrical service to be reconnected to the manufactured home. And 3, the Board of County Commissioners may provide staff with an alternative direction. Staff cannot provide a recommendation for this request. However, if the Board of County Commissioners approves the waiver request, staff recommends approval subject to the condition that the septic system for the manufactured home be replaced in a location that maintains proper distances from water service lines, other structures, and property lines. There are many non-conforming residential properties in the unincorporated county that have more than 1 home on a property that is less than the minimum lot size requirement. Approval of this waiver may set a precedence for similar requests. This may lead to future environmental concerns. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions or comments?
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Abigail, the recommendation that the waiver be conditioned on a septic system revision, do we know what the cost of that is, and is the landowner ready to meet that cost in order to us to tie the waiver to a requirement?
So I don't know what the cost would be. I do know that it is required that it be an ATU system, an advanced treatment unit. I know those are more expensive, and I'm not sure as far as the ability of the property owner, but they are here to answer any questions. Olga is here.
Okay. Yeah, I would like to hear from them. Can you come on up and visit with us?
Hello, my name is Olga J. Salas.
Um,
Yes.
I believe you guys have a question for me. I do have a comment at the end, if you give me the time.
Okay. A question that I would have for you, have you been living in the home with the electricity off? Or where
No.
have you been living?
I've been living on Mays Court at
Oh,
this
okay.
moment.
Okay, so you're not living with the family
No,
that's in
my,
the other
only
property
my,
there?
my baby girl is living there
Okay,
at the home.
okay. And you had to leave for health reasons, and now you're able to go back and be on your own again?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Does anybody else have questions?
I do.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Senior, can I interrupt just a minute?
Go ahead.
Ms. Salas, staff has recommended that we grant if we are inclined to grant the waiver, that we require, as part of that waiver, that the manufactured home maintain proper distances from sewer lines and a revision of the septic system. Are you prepared to do that?
I believe so, sir.
Do you have an estimate as to the costs so that we're not
I
creating a cost that exceeds your ability to perform?
I haven't checked the cost yet, but I have talked to the guy who was doing the job for me, and he's willing to for me to make payments, and he can provide the services. But I can gladly go back to his website and ask him for an estimate, and I can provide it to you.
Okay.
And I'm not, and I'm not ready to retire at this moment. I'm willing to work 2 to 3 years more for my accomplishments.
Okay. Commissioner Jones?
Yeah, several questions. I was looking at the sketch
Okay.
that you provided us. Now, you're not on city water, correct? You have a private well?
I do not have a private well. I do have a private provider, which her name is Arlene Smith. She's the one who provides me my water.
So the well's not close to where this,
No, sir.
that answered that question. Yeah, I'm concerned that you don't realize what the cost is gonna be for this ATU unit, but
You're right. I still don't know the cost of it, but this is like a sentimental, how can I say this? Challenge, okay? And that's why I'm willing to work for it.
Any other questions, commissioners? Thank you.
Can I finish with my last call, please?
Yes.
God willingly, and with all your knowledge and consideration and help, I will be able to accomplish my dream of retirement where my girls grow up.
All
That's
right.
why it's so sentimental for me.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay, thank you so much for your time.
Abigail, I have some questions for you.
Yes, ma'am.
It seems like if we're waiving this, there's an awful lot that we'd be waiving. I just don't know that I'm comfortable with that, and I'm curious how the rest of the commission feels. All the different codes, requirements, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that we would be out of compliance with. I worry that it would be a safety issue. Any thoughts on that?
Well, I will say that the 4 of the sections are all within the MHS district. So it's the one zoning district that we would be waiving those requirements. But I guess that's for you guys to decide, and that's why we allowed her to have this option of presenting this to you. That's Up to you.
Okay. Mackenzie, do you have anything to add?
Good morning, Mackenzie Phillips, Director of Planning and Development. So the one concern is what we mentioned in the staff report, which was the septic system. It's located underneath the home, which does not meet the minimum distance requirements. And the other is the age of the manufactured home, which is the 1968, which is older than the minimum requirement that we allow with a conditional use permit. So she did provide pictures of the home. The exterior of the home does look like it's in pretty good shape. So those would be like that we brought up, the two major concerns.
Thank you. Yes, Commissioner Schultz.
I have a question for legal. If we were to consider granting a waiver with conditions, would the waiver be effective until the conditions are met? Or would the waiver be effective upon resolution of the board?
If your waiver specifically indicates that it's upon meeting the conditions are going to have to be met prior to the waiver being in effect.
And in essence, when it gets around to a building permit, or operational permit, they would have to meet the conditions of the waiver.
Yes.
So
I'm-
that means that they can't hook up electricity until they get the,
Correct.
okay.
And staff would make sure that that happened? Okay. I don't, it's been connected to electricity before, and it's been occupied, and the only reason that we're being asked to get this waiver today is because there was a lapse in service, and so we're being asked to waive that so that they can continue doing what they've been doing before. I don't have a problem with that.
Commissioner Utes, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I would totally agree that I think, I'm just concerned about setting a precedence for others in the community. I understand your passion and your desire, but I'm just concerned, and I don't think she really realizes the cost of moving that septic system. And whether or not the state, is it true too, if I recall correctly, that the state has to approve it as well on septic systems? No?
No, she would be required to submit a septic permit, and that would be reviewed by our staff and
Right.
county
Right,
sanitarian.
okay.
A lot of the requirements from from our environmental code and then the KDHE standards that we follow, those are implemented by the state, but they're created by the state, but are implemented by our local jurisdiction. So our local sanitarian is the one that can grant waivers of things, of certain septic systems, and make sure that everything is in compliance.
Madam Chair, I move the board to approve alternative number 1 to grant the waivers, but conditioned upon the staff recommendation that the septic system for the manufactured home be replaced in a location that maintains proper distances from water service lines and other structures and property lines upon approval of the regulatory requirements that a occupancy or electrical permit be granted.
Second.
Any other comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And sounds like 3 and 2, so that did carry. Thank you. And now are we going to go to 6B?
Yes.
Public hearing? Okay. Good morning, Darwin.
Good morning, Madam Chair and Commissioners. Darwin Martwick, Field Appraiser 3. The Board of County Commissioners is asked to consider and approve American Implements Economic Development, EDX, tax abatement request, adopt Resolution 27-2026, and authorize staff to submit the required documents to the Kansas Board of Tax Appeals, BOTA. American Implement has submitted an application for Economic Development EDX property tax abatement pursuant Article 11, Section 13 of the Kansas Constitution and in accordance with the Finney County Tax Abatement Policy. The project is classified as a business retention expansion project within the agriculture industry and represents an estimated capital investment of $3.7 million in Finney County. Under the county's tax abatement policy, the projects with capital investment between $1 million and $4.9 million are eligible for 20% tax abatement for a period not to exceed 10 years. Based on the reported investment, the project qualifies for 20% tax abatement. As required by Finney County, the county policy, the application was reviewed through the county's tax abatement process, including a preparation of the cost-benefit analysis, CBA, by the Kansas Department of Commerce. During the staff review, Finney County Economic Development Corporation identified an original analysis, included a small amount of taxable value, and projected property tax revenue for furniture, fixtures, machinery, and equipment, FF&E. Because qualifying commercial and industrial machinery and equipment is exempt from property taxation under Kansas law, FCEDC requested that the Kansas Department of Commerce review and correct the analysis. The revised cost-benefit analysis removes the projected FF&E, taxable value, and property tax revenue, and recalculates the effective physical impact projections. This additional review ensured the Board of County Commissioners receive a transparent and defensible analysis based on the revenues and local taxing entities reasonable expect to collect. Although the revised analysis modestly reduced the project physical benefits and does not change the overall conclusion of the expansion, provides a substantial positive and economic return to the community. The revised cost-benefit analysis projects expansion will create 10 direct jobs and approximately 7 additional spin-off jobs, while the combined existing and expanded operations are expected to support approximately 62 total jobs, generate more than $73 million in wages overall over a 15-year analysis period, and produce nearly $23.7 million in taxable local sales and purchases within Finney County. The requested incentive is a partial property tax abatement rather than a full exemption. Finney County shares of property tax incentive is projected to a total of approximately $124,610 over a 10-year tax abatement period. During the 15-year analysis period, the county is projected to collect approximately $859,000 in property taxes from the expansion after the abatement has been applied. After accounting the estimated cost, public services, and modeled incentives, the expansion projected to generate approximately $910,000 in net physical benefit to Finney County, while the combined current and expanded operations will projected to generate approximately $1.48 million in total net physical benefit to Finney County. The revised analysis also estimates Finney County to recover the value of the incentive in approximately 1.2 years, demonstrating a long-term physical benefits substantially exceed the public support being provided. Positive physical impacts will also be projected to Garden City USD 457, Garden City Community College, and the state of Kansas. The Tax Abatement Review Committee reviewed the application and recommended approval upon completion of construction and final valuation. In accordance to the EDX tax abatement post-construction procedure, the Board of County Commissioners must conduct a public hearing before taking action on the application. Notice of the public hearing was published on July 23rd, 2026, and certified public notices were provided to all affected taxing entities. If approved, staff will submit the adopted resolution, revised cost-benefit analysis, proof of publication, final valuation documentation, the county's tax abatement policy, and all supporting materials to the Kansas Board of Tax Appeals for review. Alternative number 1, the Board of County Commissioners may adopt Resolution 27-2026 approving American Implement's EDX tax abatement request and authorize the chair to sign the resolution and direct staff to submit the completed application and supporting documentation to the Board of Tax Appeals. Alternative 2, the Board of County Commissioners may not adopt Resolution 27-2026. And alternative 3, the Board of County Commissioners may give staff further direction. Staff recommends alternative number 1. The Board of County Commissioners adopt Resolution 27-26 approving American Implement's EDX tax abatement request, authorizing the chair to sign the resolution and direct staff to submit completed application and supported documentation to the Kansas Board of Tax Appeals. Physical and policy impact. Approval of the request tax abatement does not require direct expenditure of Finney of county funds. The request incentive is consistent with Finney County's tax abatement policy for qualifying business retention and expansion projects. Based on the revised Kansas Department of Commerce cost-benefit analysis, Finney County's portion of the property tax incentive is approximately $124,610 over a 10-year period. During the full 15-year analysis period, the county is projected to collect $859,000 during the property tax for expansion after the abatement is deducted. After accounting the estimated cost and public services and modeled incentives, the county is projected to receive approximately $910,087 in net benefit from the expansion, while the combined current expansion operates the projected to generate approximately $1,477,176 in total net benefits to Finney County. The analysis estimates an 85.7% of return and a 1.2 payback period and projects positive physical impact for Garden City USD 457, Garden City Community College, and the state of Kansas. Here this morning, I do have a representative from American Implement, Mary Holmes, with us today, along with Lana Duvall, President and CEO of Economic Development, if there's any questions.
All right, thank you. I think first, do we need to open public hearing?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay. With that, we'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone here who has comments that you'd like to share with us today? And seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing, and I would like to hear from Mary and Lana. Come on up.
Happy Monday morning.
Thanks, same to you.
So we greatly appreciate this time today to have this hearing. Are there any questions that you would like to ask?
Any questions for Mary?
We'll be utilizing this building for training. Our current staff, they come in and have little classes. We have little seminars and conferences. We have a large kitchen. You're also welcome to come see the building if you like. We greatly invite you to come over to our demonstration day. I believe that's August 11th. You're more than welcome to come out and test drive our pieces of equipment. I know we purchased this property back in 2024. It was ag ground. There is currently a center pivot on this property that we're basically growing wheat and corn on it, and we allow customers to come out and basically use our equipment, test drive it, see how the new technology works on this new, you know how technology is, it constantly is changing, and it allows them to test drive, they get to use the equipment, gets a little bit of hands-on, have questions regarding, you know, if they have any questions with our servicemen, technicians. If you're not into combines and tractors, we also have lawnmowers and little compact little utility tractors as well. So, this building is solely used for training for our current servicemen. We also, like I said, we have demonstrations as well for customers and farmers. So, but yes, we greatly appreciate you taking the time and allowing us to work with you, and thank you with working with us as well.
That's great. We appreciate you continuing to invest in Finney County.
Thank you.
What time on August 11th?
I believe it starts, don't quote me on it, I know social media has it on Facebook. I believe it starts at 11, and I think we also have some food and prizes and so on as well for our customers as well, and commissioners.
Okay, that sounds great. Thanks, Mary.
Thank you.
And Lana, do you have anything for us?
Lana Duvall, President, CEO, Finney County Economic Development. Our role in this is, as you all are aware, according to the tax abatement policy that's been adopted by the Board of County Commissioners, we take the information in from these projects before they start on them, submit those to the Department of Commerce to get you a pre-construction cost-benefit analysis, which you all reviewed when you initially allowed, said that you would allow this tax abatement request to go forward. And then after the project is completed, that process calls for allowing another cost-benefit analysis that we call the post-construction cost-benefit analysis. As was noted in your staff memo, when we analyzed that report that came from the Kansas Department of Commerce, there were errors. Their software was tracking FF&E, which is not taxable for items purchased after 2006 in the state of Kansas. That's a state exemption, nothing that you've done locally, obviously. However, we wanted to make sure that what you were reviewing was a more accurate reflection. These are always best estimates. These cost-benefit analyses are, because things do change. The mill levies change, sales tax rates can change. So none of those numbers are intended to be perfect, if you will, but we knew that the taxable machinery and equipment would create an obvious error, so we wanted to make sure that you got a corrected report. So our apologies for not catching that before the memorandum item went out, but we did provide an update to your county administrator as soon as we noticed the error. And we have met with the Kansas Department of Commerce, the gentleman who prepares these cost-benefit analyses across the state, and made him aware of that concern, so he was able to meet with the software providers and get those changes made. So hopefully going forward, that won't be an issue anymore.
Excellent. Thank you. Good catch, Lana.
Lana, the payback of 1.2 years or 3 years?
I believe that's correct, yeah.
Anyway, that's relatively short. If I remember right, some of those other EDXs we've done, there's a lot longer payback period than one that short of time.
Right, and that's really just based on the percentage. This project only qualifies for the lowest level of abatement, which means that you're collecting the majority of the taxes even during that 10-year period. You're always collecting the base. We always like to remind you the base taxes that are being collected don't get abated. This is only on the incremental gain to the project. So without the investment, there would be no development tool applicable to it. And again, you're only foregoing a small portion of that growth in taxation. The maximum allowed through your policy in the written policy is 60%. This project only qualified for the minimum, which is the lowest amount.
All right,
Madam
yes.
Chair, if we could, Lana, I'd like to take an opportunity here to do a little bit of public education, if you have a moment. Back in 2024, when we tentatively approved this project for the 20%, It was based on certain assumptions and so forth. Looking backwards now, the new revised numbers didn't materially change your estimates as to the benefit of this project. Would that be a fair statement?
That is a fair statement.
And if I'm reading this correctly, when I attended that meeting with all of us, the city of Holcomb by phone, myself and then administrator in the college, school district, Holcomb School District, and your board chair and yourself, when we looked at this project, we thought, wow, that's quite a benefit to our community. It's only a 20% abatement. And then the rate of return on our investment was less than 2 years. And so while this may seem like a small project in the economic development world, it's a big project if you're one of the stockholders of this company. And I just want to give kudos to your analysis and your business that takes these projects, undresses them, so to speak, as to how they affect our community and what the abatement value is and what our rate of return is and how important it is for people to understand that although we're giving a tax break, it's an investment, and the return rate is a short period of time before we start seeing considerable economic development gains from the project.
That is correct. I think the other thing that's important to note is that the EDX process and IRB tax abatement process are given through different triggers, if you will, at the state level. EDX is a constitutional policy, if you will, in the state of Kansas, and so we are required to follow all of their rules related to what types of projects qualify for this. And I think it is somewhat of a challenge to classify it as a tax break, because in actuality, most of these development tools, the EDX included, are actually an opportunity for the community to partner with private industry in project development. So in many cases, these projects are actually contributing to infrastructure that is ultimately beneficial to the entire community, not just to that one project. So it's more of a way that the local government partners with private industry and less of a handout, if you will, if you're looking at it through that lens.
Any other comments?
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, do we have a motion?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the resolution 27-2026.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. All right, 6C, another public hearing. Good morning.
Good morning, Chair and Commissioners. I'm Lee Routh, Deputy County Appraiser. The Board of County Commissioners is asked to consider and approve Empirical Foods, Inc.'s Economic Development EDX Tax Abatement Request, adopt Resolution Number 28-2026, and authorize staff to submit the required documents to the Kansas Board of Tax Appeals, BOTA. Empirical Foods, Inc. has submitted an application for an economic development exemption property tax abatement pursuant to Article 11, Section 13 of the Kansas Constitution, and in accordance with the Finney County Tax Abatement Policy, the project is classified as a business retention and expansion project within the agricultural industry and represents an estimated capital investment of approximately $400 million in Finney County. Under the county's tax abatement policy, projects with a capital investment exceeding $25 million are eligible for a 40% property tax abatement for a period not to exceed 10 years. Based on the reported investment, the project qualifies for a 40% property tax abatement. As required by county policy, the application was reviewed through the county's tax abatement process including preparation of a cost-benefit analysis by the Kansas Department of Commerce. During staff review, the Finney County Economic Development Corporation, FCEDC, identified concerns regarding the original analysis because it included furniture, fixtures, machinery, and equipment, FF&E, as taxable property. Because qualifying commercial and industrial machinery and equipment is generally exempt from property taxation under Kansas law, FCEDC requested that the Kansas Department of Commerce review the underlying assumptions and confirm that the analysis accurately reflected the project's taxable value. Commerce subsequently issued a revised cost-benefit analysis that removes all projected FF&E property tax revenue and recalculates the affected net benefit, rate of return, payback period, and other fiscal impact projections. This additional review was an important due diligence step to ensure the Board of County Commissioners receives a transparent and defensible analysis based only on revenues local taxing entities can reasonably expect to collect. Although the revised analysis reduced the projected fiscal benefits from the original report, it does not change the overall conclusion that the project provides substantial long-term economic and physical benefits. The revised cost-benefit analysis estimates the project will create approximately 270 direct jobs and an additional 102 indirect and induced jobs, generate nearly $300 million in wages over the 15-year analysis period, and produce more than $283 million in taxable local sales and purchases within Finney County. The requested incentive is a partial and temporary property tax abatement rather than a full exemption. During the 10-year abatement period, 60% of the otherwise taxable land and building value will remain on the tax rolls, allowing local taxing entities to continue receiving substantial property tax revenues while supporting a significant private capital investment. Based on the revised report, approximately $29.9 million in project property taxes will still be collected during the first 10 years, including approximately $29.6 million for local taxing entities. Beginning in year 11, the taxable land and building value becomes fully taxable under the county's tax abatement policy. After accounting for the estimated cost of public services and all modeled incentives, the revised cost-benefit analysis projects the project will generate approximately $150.3 million in total net fiscal benefits over the 15-year analysis period. Finney County alone is projected to receive approximately $27.95 million in net fiscal benefits, with the county's investment recovered in approximately 6.5 years. The analysis also projects positive fiscal impacts for the city of Garden City USD 457, Garden City Community College, the state of Kansas, demonstrating that the long-term fiscal benefits substantially exceed the value of the requested incentive. In accordance with the EDX tax abatement post-construction procedure, the Board of County Commissioners must conduct a public hearing prior to taking action on the application. Notice of the public hearing was published on July 23rd, 2026, and certified notices were provided to all affected taxing entities. If approved, staff will submit the adopted resolution, the revised cost-benefit analysis, proof of publication, final valuation documentation, the county's tax abatement policy, and all supporting materials to the Kansas Board of Tax Appeals for final review.
Just a point of clarification, just a note that capital investments exceeding $25 million are eligible for a 60% tax abatement, not 40% over a 10-year, not to exceed a 10-year period. This one qualifies for the 60% tax abatement.
Alternatives before you today. Number one, the Board of County Commissioners may adopt a resolution number 28-2026, approving Empirical Foods, Inc.'s Economic Development Tax Abatement Request. Authorize the chair to sign the resolution and direct staff to submit the completed application and supporting documentation to the Kansas Board of Tax Appeals. Alternative number 2, the Board of County Commissioners may not adopt Resolution 28-2026. Alternative number 3, the Board of County Commissioners may give staff further direction. Staff recommends alternative number 1, the Board of County Commissioners may adopt Resolution number 28-2026, approving Empirical Food Inc.'s EDX tax abatement request, authorize the chair to sign the resolution, and direct staff to submit the completed application and supporting documentation to the Kansas Board of Tax Appeals. Fiscal policy impact. Approval of the request to tax abatement does not require a direct expenditure of county funds. The requested incentive is consistent with the Finney County tax abatement policy for qualifying business retention and expansion projects. Based on the revised Kansas Department of Commerce cost-benefit analysis, Finney County is projected to receive approximately $27.95 million in net fiscal benefits over the 15-year analysis period, with approximately $25 million in county property tax collections, a 19.9% rate of return, and an estimated 6.5-year payback period. The analysis also projects positive fiscal impacts for the city of Garden City USD 457, Garden City Community College, and the state of Kansas. And with that, if you have any questions, I'm here, of course. We have Lana Duvall of FCEDC, and I believe we also have over teams, representatives from Empirical, Carly Jans, tax supervisor, and David Burkholz, purchasing manager for construction.
All right, thank you, Lee.
It's a lot.
At this time, I'll go ahead and open the public hearing. Does anybody here have comments regarding to this issue? And hearing none, we'll close the public hearing and go ahead and see if we have any comments from the representatives of Empirical.
We do not at this time. If you can hear us?
Can you guys hear us?
Can you hear us now?
Can you hear us?
We need some volume from our friends in Nebraska.
We're having an audio problem.
It's getting better.
Getting better, yeah.
Hey, we don't have any comments at this point for you.
I believe he said he didn't have any comments, Madam Chair.
Okay.
Correct.
All right. Lana, do you have any comments on this one? Very good. Any questions or comments from the board?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
Under the proposed resolution, page 258 of our packet, this is drafted as a 10-year property exemption beginning in 2026 and ending in 2035, coupled with an annual payment in lieu of taxes of 60% of the property taxes which would be due absent the exemption. And my question is to the administrator that have they paid the full amount of the 2025 taxes, and are they seeking any abatement of the tax given the fact that we're going to make it exempt for 10 years?
They have paid the full amount and they are not seeking any exemptions.
The public should know that these partners in business that came to our county and built this fine facility are now seeking the exemption, but are going to agree to pay an abatement, a payment in lieu of taxes of 60% of the property taxes. And I think the public should know that Empirical Foods is doing that. Well, that's however you want to look at it, Senior. we give them an entire abatement, and then
Okay.
they pay 60% in lieu.
Okay, 40, okay, gotcha.
So they're getting 40% for 10 years because of that's the net effect, but the 10-year property exemption is what's stated in the.
They're getting a 60%, so that's qualified.
You're correct again.
I know I am, but I think that the public should know that the taxpayer is agreeing to pay 60% of their tax in lieu after having received the exemption. That's a substantial economic development.
Substantial investment they made, too.
Absolutely.
Any other comments? Okay, I'll hear a motion on this.
Madam Chair, I move the commission to adopt Resolution 28-2026 as presented.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. Thanks, Lee. Next, we have 6F, another waiver request.
Good morning, Madam Chair and Commissioners. Mackenzie Phillips, Director of Planning and Development. This morning, the Board of County Commissioners is asked to consider a waiver request for the property generally located at 112 Stratford Court in Finney County, Kansas. The property owners, H.J. and Rebecca Swinder, are requesting a waiver from the Finney County zoning regulations and the Finney County Environmental Code to allow for the issuance of a building permit for an addition to their home generally located at 112 Stratford Court in Finney County, Kansas. The property is currently zoned LR, Low Density Residential District, and contains approximately 0.52 acres. The owners would like to construct a 40-foot by 27-foot garage addition, enclose the existing 9-foot by 12-foot porch to expand the existing kitchen and dining space, and convert the existing garage area into a storage and recreational space. However, the property is non-conforming because it does not meet the minimum lot size requirements for an on-site septic system. Section 8.040 of the Finney County zoning regulations states the minimum lot size requirements for the LR district are as follows. Subject to the county environmental code and except as otherwise provided in Article 23 of this zoning regulation, no building shall be erected or altered on a lot which makes provisions for less than 8,800 square feet of lot area. Minimum lot widths shall not be less than 80 feet, and a minimum lot depth shall not be less than 110 feet. Section 2-5.8b, suitable site of the Finney County Environmental Code states, no site shall be approved if the site contains less than 2 acres of land exclusive of roads, streets, or other public right-of-way or easements, provided this area requirement may be reduced to 1 acre if the property is served by an approved public water supply. The property is served by a public water supply, so the required minimum lot size is 1 acre. However, the property is less than the 1 acre lot size requirement and is considered non-conforming. According to Section 22.8080 of the Finney County zoning regulations, non-conforming uses as defined herein may be permitted to continue provided that no structural alterations except those required by law or resolution are made therein, and that the nonconforming use is not discontinued or abandoned for a period of 1 year, and was 1, legally established at the time of the adoption of the county zoning regulations, 2, legally established at the time an amendment was made to the county zoning regulation so as to transfer the land to a more restricted district, as the case may be, or 3, legally established prior to the adoption of the current county zoning regulations and amendments thereto. Furthermore, Section 22.100 states, 1, routine maintenance and repair may be permitted unless the property is deemed or declared to be unsafe by the building official. Such repairs shall be construed to mean shall not be construed to mean major remodeling, restoration, or replacement. Such repairs will not usually extend the life of the structure and will not exceed $2,500 or 10% of the total appraised value by the Finney County appraiser, whichever is greater, nor increase the degree of nonconformance. 2, remodeling may be permitted for residential structures by the Planning and Community Development Director or his or her designee, as long as it does not increase the degree of nonconformance and or conforms with all the applicable county codes and regulations. Remodeling may be permitted for commercial and industrial uses by conditional use permit only after authorized by the Board of Zoning Appeals in accordance with Article 29. Constructing the proposed addition to the home would increase the structure's footprint and is considered a structural alteration that exceeds the allowed routine maintenance/repair or remodeling detailed in section 22.100. There are 3 alternatives before you this morning. First, the Board of County Commissioners may approve the waiver from section 8.040 of the Finney County zoning regulations and section 2-5.8b of the Finney County Environmental Code to allow for the 40 by 20 foot, 40 foot by 27 foot garage addition, 9 foot by 12 foot porch enclosure, and accompanying renovations to the home. 2, the Board of County Commissioners may not approve the waiver as stated above. And 3, the Board of County Commissioners may provide staff with alternative direction. Staff cannot provide a recommendation for this request. Approval of this waiver may set a precedent for similar requests to expand the footprint of existing non-conforming structures with septic systems on properties less than the minimum lot size requirement. This may lead to future environmental concerns. And I'm available for any questions, and Rebecca Swinder is also here if you have any questions for her.
Okay, Rebecca, do you have anything you'd like to add?
I don't have much. That's pretty cut and dried. I think the environmental concern in this regulation has to do with septic load, and our remodel won't add to our septic load. This will, we're not adding restrooms or anything like that, laundry. So pretty cut and dried, but it does add value to our home. It will add value. I mean, if you're looking at future renovations, remodels, and additions, it will add value to properties in Southwind. So,
thank you, and I do appreciate that you got permission from the HOA and the what are they called?
Quite a ways from the existing, you can't tap into the sewer system.
correct. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Mackenzie?
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Mackenzie, I live out there, and we've seen this before, and we're gonna see it on every improvement of almost every lot at Southwind. Is that correct?
Correct.
And isn't that the real reason why the staff can't provide a recommendation, because the incredible size and scope of the lack of having 2 acres?
Correct.
All right. I think the public should know that we're not granting a waiver to a fellow that lives down on the corner that was here last year, or to the Swinders or anybody else that lives in Southwind. We're gonna be doing this 180 times as these old septic systems need to be upgraded. And I don't see a way out of it. And I wanted the public to know that the staff recommendation is because of the lot size changes that were done after the lots were made in 1994 or somewhere along in there. And these lots were all platted back in the 80s.
And well, additionally, I think the staff cannot make a recommendation on any waiver. Is that correct?
Correct.
Madam Chair, I move the board to approve alternative number 1.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mackenzie. Thanks for coming, Rebecca. 6G, Performance Management and Learning Management Software.
Good morning, Madam
Good
Chair
morning.
and Commissioners. Kelly Munyon, Director of Human Resources. This morning, the board is asked to consider and approve the procurement of a performance management system with implementation scheduled for fourth quarter of 2026, and a learning management system with implementation scheduled for fourth quarter of 2027. Finney County's performance management process has historically been treated as a compliance task rather than a strategic tool for employee development and organizational performance. Only about 60% of employees receive an annual performance evaluation, and many evaluations provide limited opportunity for meaningful feedback or employee development. Historically, the county has relied on paper-based evaluations with a brief transition to an electronic system, PerformSmart, which was soon after discontinued. In October of 2025, the county received the final Raftillis report that conducted a comprehensive organizational review and staffing analysis of Finney County's organization. One of the key recommendations was to adopt a more strategic-driven, data-driven approach to workforce management. The report recommended leveraging technology to improve operational efficiency, strengthen recruitment efforts, and implement software that supports work planning, performance management, and resource allocation. It further emphasized that establishing a consistent organization-wide performance management and evaluation process would improve accountability, align departmental goals with organization priorities, strengthen communication and collaboration, and provide employees with meaningful feedback and professional development opportunities. Formalizing these practices will support informed decision-making, improve employee engagement, and ensure county resources remain aligned with strategic priorities and community needs. Employee feedback has consistently indicated a desire for more frequent coaching, professional development opportunities, and ongoing communication rather than a single annual evaluation. Moving to an anniversary date evaluation process supported by an online system will encourage continuous performance conversations and eliminate the rushed annual year-end reviews. The onboarding experience is another critical component of the employee's success and retention. Research consistently demonstrates that an employee's first 90 days significantly influence long-term engagement and will aid in retention. As part of this initiative, Human Resources will implement 30, 60, 90-day check-ins alongside an updated onboarding process that incorporates administration, human resources, payroll, information technology, and emergency management, and any other departments that contribute to the successful integration of our new employees. Human Resource also intends to implement ongoing stay interviews as a part of a proactive employee engagement strategy. Unlike exit interviews, which occur after an employee has decided to leave, stay interviews provide opportunity to identify concerns early, strengthen employee engagement, build trust, and reduce avoidable turnover. The long-term performance vision for the county includes implementing a 360-degree evaluation process, allowing employees to receive constructive feedback from supervisors, peers, direct reports, and through self-assessments. However, successful implementation requires first establishing a strong foundation. Transitioning from paper evaluations to an electronic performance management system, training supervisors on effective performance evaluations and coaching, modernizing the evaluation process, and moving to an anniversary date review will position the organization for a successful future implementation of the 360-degree feedback. During the first year, the county will focus on implementing and training employees and supervisors on the new online performance management system. In the second year, the county plans to take the same approach with implementing the learning management system to support the organizational review recommendations, future performance-based merit increases, employee development, compliance training, and a culture of continuous learning, engagement, and organizational excellence. NeoGov's suite of products has been evaluated and selected to support Finney County's employee performance management and professional development initiatives. By automating performance evaluations, workflows, reminders, and other administrative processes, this platform reduces the management burden while improving consistency, accountability, and employee growth. Finally, with the additional recommendation from Raftillis that Human Resource establish a regular cadence of meetings with department leadership at a minimum of twice annually, these meetings will strengthen communication, provide ongoing support, and can be used to help ensure departments fully utilize both the performance management system and learning management systems. Regular collaboration with department leadership will also allow Human Resources to identify training needs, monitor progress through organizational goals, address challenges proactively, and maximize the value in both systems across the organization. There are two alternatives before you today. The Board of County Commissioners may authorize and approve the purchase of NeoGov's performance management software independently for year one and authorize the additional purchase of NeoGov's learning management system in year two. Or the Board of County Commissioners may deny the purchase of NeoGov's performance management and learning software and direct staff on a different approach or direction for employee performance and learning. In staff recommendation is alternative 1, the Board of County Commissioners may authorize the purchase of NeoGov's performance management software as a standalone implementation for year 1 with the addition of NeoGov's learning management system in year 2. This phased approach establishes a strong foundation for organizational success, enhances employee engagement, and supports continuous learning and professional growth. Both the Raftillis and McGrath studies identified the need for consistent documented performance evaluations to promote fairness, improve accountability, and strengthen employee engagement and retention. Implementing NeoGov's performance management system directly addresses these recommendations by providing a standardized performance evaluation process. The planned addition of the learning management system in year 2 will further support long-term workforce development by equipping employees with structured training and professional development opportunities. So the fiscal and policy impact, the proposed software solution would be procured through the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Contract with NeoGov. The anticipated costs are as follows. Year 1, performance management system implementation training and first year subscription, $13,493.40. Year 2, performance management system plus implementation training and addition of the learning management system, $30,516.20. And in year 3, ongoing performance management and learning management system subscription and support, $39,642.00. Year 1, funding for this purchase is available through line item 172-18-542803, Human Resource Equipment Reserve, which has a current available balance of $74,892.00. Years 2 and beyond, funding has been and will be budgeted in the Employee Benefits Fund. I'm happy to take any questions or comments.
Okay, Commissioner Utes, you have a question?
No, just a comment. I'm glad to see that we're looking at implementing this. I mean, especially after we had 2 separate studies that indicated the need for this, and I sat on those studies, and it's amazing we only have 60% that we evaluated. I applaud you for not just letting those studies sit on a shelf and being ignored. This is way past due. It's a great accountability tool. It's a great way to help our leadership team grow and work with the employees. Derek, is this similar to the one the city's using?
Yes, this is the exact software they're using.
Okay. Yes, and I've used that, and it's at first it's scary, but after you get over those hurdles, it's a great tool to have. And I like the aspect that the employees have that opportunity to provide that feedback versus in one way. Will this be whether we adopt the McGrath compensation study or we stay 5% increase because we haven't decided which direction we're going? This will still attach to the pay.
Absolutely.
So, if a director or somebody doesn't fill it out, they know that it's affecting their employees' pay.
They should, and that would be established through compensation policy. Regardless if we move with McGrath or not, we still need to update our compensation policy. It is very outdated.
Very good. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Any other comments?
Question, well, Mike may have answered my one question, where you got the recommendation for this company. I realized since the city's using it, you probably saw it in action. Is there other local companies available, or do you know, like Civic Plus, do they offer
I don't know about Civic Plus.
They do a lot of governmental work.
Yeah.
I don't know if they did this type of work or not.
Yeah, we weren't familiar with Civic Plus, but we did partner and tour this software, and I used it when I was at the city, and so we were familiar with it.
I would like to add, I did bring a committee of directors. I sent it out open to all directors. I did have a handful respond, and so several of the leadership did sit in on the demo. So it wasn't just single-threaded through my office. The recommendation, it came from a group of us.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Commissioner Schultz.
My question to the administrator, and not just Kelly, is county government's fundamentally different in 5 elected positions. Where are the 5 electeds as far as have they had a chance to review this software? Are they going to implement it so that we have uniform application of the software for all of our employees in the county and not just those that are run by department heads subject to administrator control?
Right, so this will be a countywide policy. However, the elected officials do not have to follow countywide policy. We will encourage them and partner with them and help them in any way we can to help implement this tool for them to use.
Have they been surveyed as to implementing this? And most importantly, the sheriff has the highest number of employees, but not any less important is the staff and the clerk and treasurer and registered deeds office as well as the county attorney. And what's your feeling, Mr. Administrator, of the electeds buying into this process and using it?
Yes, we've had conversations with the elected officials, and from our conversations, we believe that they will buy in and definitely utilize this valuable tool.
Very good. Thank you.
Any other comments? And hearing none, do we have a motion?
Madam Chair, I move that the Board of County Commissioners authorize and approve the purchase of NeoGov's performance management software independently for year one and authorize the additional purchase of NeoGov's learning management system in year two.
Second.
Any other comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you.
6H.
Good morning, Madam Chair and Commissioners. The Board of County Commissioners is asked to consider and approve Resolution Number 30, 2026, calling a special question election on November 3rd, 2026, to submit to the qualified electors of Finney County the question of renewing the existing 0.25% countywide retailer sales tax upon its expiration on September 30th of 2027. Finney County currently levies a 0.25% countywide retail sales tax that was approved by voters in 2021. The tax is dedicated to paying for and/or financing needed existing building and road maintenance, including the purchase of necessary equipment as determined by the Board of County Commissioners. Collection of the current tax began on October 1st, 2021 and will expire on September 30th, 2027. Bond Counsel Gilmore & Bell PC has prepared the attached election documents, including the proposed resolution, notice of special election, question election, official ballot, and all documents necessary to conduct the election. The proposed resolution would authorize a special question election on November 3rd, 2026, asking voters whether to authorize a replacement 0.25% countywide retailer sales tax beginning October 1st, 2027, or soon thereafter as permitted by law and continuing for a period of 10 years. The proposed ballot language has been intentionally drafted to mirror the language approved by voters in 2021 in order to maintain continuity regarding the authorized purposes of the sales tax. If approved by voters, the replacement tax will continue funding building maintenance, road maintenance, and the purchase of equipment necessary to address county infrastructure needs as determined by the Board of County Commissioners. Revenue generated from the replacement tax will continue to be apportioned in accordance with KSA 12-192. State election deadlines require the Board of County Commissioners to adopt the resolution before the end of August of 2026 to allow the county clerk sufficient time to prepare ballots, publish required election notices, and complete all statutory election requirements for the November 3rd, 2026 special question election. Adoption of the resolution does not impose the sales tax. It only authorizes the submission of the question to the voters for their consideration. The proposed action supports the county's governance model by strengthening long-term financial sustainability, planning and investing in Finney County's future, and responsibly stewarding public resources while allowing the voters to determine whether the existing revenue source should continue. There are three alternatives for the governing body to choose from. One, the Board of County Commissioners may approve Resolution Number 30, 2026, calling a special question election on November 3rd, 2026 for the purpose of submitting to the qualified electors the question of renewing the existing 0.25% countywide retailers sales tax upon its expiration. Two, the Board of County Commissioners may deny Resolution Number 30-2026. And three, the Board of County Commissioners may give staff further direction regarding the proposed resolution, ballot language, or election process. It is staff's recommendation of approval number 1 by adopting Resolution Number 30, 2026, calling the November 3rd, 2026 special question election. Approval of the resolution has no direct fiscal impact on the county's current budget. Adoption of the resolution only authorizes submission of the sales tax question to the voters. If approved by the electorate, the replacement 0.25% countywide sales tax would begin upon expiration of the current tax on October 1st, 2027, or soon thereafter as permitted by law, and would provide continued funding for eligible building maintenance, road maintenance, and related equipment needs. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Derek?
Not a question, but comment. This is basically referred to as the BRMP tax, and it's a shared tax. We impose it, but it's shared with city, Hope, and the other entities based on population, correct?
Correct.
And it's also the tax that helped us be able to have funds without raising the mill levy in order to build a $13 million building. And I think that the taxpayers will see the wisdom of this tax, and I'm all in favor of it.
Any other comments? I will hear a motion on this.
I move the Board of County Commissioners, Madam Chair, to adopt the resolution, sign the excerpts of the mission, direct the clerk to submit the special question, and the board approve resolution 2030-2026 calling for a special election for the purpose of submitting to the electors the question of renewing the existing 0.25 countywide retailers tax upon its expiration.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries.
Thank you.
All right. Do you have a update for us additionally?
No further updates.
All right, very good. And upcoming meetings?
A timeout, and then on our last motion with regard to that excerpt of the minutes, I think it requires that we note the vote of each of the commissioners. And if you would, Madam Chair, please advise the clerk that that was unanimous, then she can fill in those excerpts of the minutes accordingly.
Thank you. Got it. All right. Do you have upcoming meetings and events up there? We'll have this on the screen there. And I guess, do you want to do our reports before the break, or you want to break first? Okay, we'll take a break until 10:10.
Thank you.
Out of coffee.
continue with commissioner reports.
And I think Jerry might be able to help. On the meeting events, they show that the mail ballots are due by 7 p.m. on the 4th. And I think the courts have recently ruled that it's 3 days after that. Is that correct, Jerry?
It is, but I think that unless the chief election officer or the clerk gets directive from the Secretary of State, when we canvass, we'll have to address that question at that time.
Correct.
The district court in Douglas County ruled that the revisions to the time frame in which a mail-in ballot may be counted was unconstitutional. The Court of Appeals failed to reverse that decision, and the Supreme Court last Friday said we're not going to intervene. So the district court's rule is in effect, but I don't know that the Secretary of State has sent out new directives to the election officers. Gabby, do you have anything on that?
So as of right now, there is a court order. We'll be accepting for the 3-day grace period.
All right.
Until.
Well, I think that we'll get updated information from the Secretary of State's office as canvassers when the time comes. And I think, aren't we canvassing on the 17th?
Yes.
And I'll be absent, and so I'll try to find somebody in my district to propose to sit as a canvasser for the election due to my absence for the Board of Canvassers. But yes, Commissioner Hoots, that's what the court has done. The Supreme Court did not grant any relief to the appeal by the Secretary of State. So when that time comes, the Board of Canvassers will then decide the issue of whether or not ballots postmarked by Election Day but not received on the close of business on the election, 7 p.m., which was the way the law was written by the legislature, that having been found to be unconstitutional and not suspended or stayed by the appellate court, both appellate courts, becomes the law of the state for this election. And I'm sure that we'll get updated directives from the Secretary of State's office to help the chief election officer, our clerk, implement those. And then finally, the Board of Canvassers, this board, will make that decision upon canvassing of the election at the time. We may not have very many of those ballots with which to decide.
But we can't change the state rules, though. Canvassers can't.
No, but it's the canvasser's decision as to whether or not those.
Accept them or not.
Accept them or not.
Thank you.
Okay, do you want to start with your report?
Yes. Thank you, Madam Chair. I attended the GTBI meeting by Zoom. Bob Wetmore, the director, will be retiring at the end of the year. He's done a remarkable job. I attended Mike Murhead's retirement reception. That'll be some big shoes to fill with Mike leaving. And then just a reminder to the general public, for those that live out at Towns Review and Towns South, we are having an informational meeting this Wednesday from 6:30 to 8:30, and then Thursday morning from 10:30 to 12:30, both at Charleston Intermediate School, to discuss the water issues. We have several people from the state and federal government coming in, city folks, and some from the county will be there to talk about the options and the best solution is looking at a rural water district.
Thank you. Commissioner Basque?
I have none.
Okay, Commissioner Schultz?
I attended Mike's retirement party, and his expertise will be missed, but I also want everybody to know that I think he is willing to be engaged on critical infrastructural issues for us in Finney County, and I told him that he could retire, but he couldn't really retire. We still need his help. And attended a really nice gathering Saturday night. It was the Garden City Downtown Vision and Garden City Arts 17th Annual Art Auction, and it was well attended and held out at the refinery. And would, I guess, just like everyone to understand that while we slogged through the government issues and all of those things, there are still folks trying to make Garden City a better place to live. And arts and music are one of those things that's dear to my heart, and I wanted to give a shout out to the banner art auction, the organizers, and all the community members and patrons of Southwest Kansas who attended. And thank you for your support of the arts. We have a really interesting time with the Senior Center as they look for ways to improve what they're doing. The Senior Center is facing transportation budget cuts, and at the auction last Saturday night was a member of our public who relies heavily on our public transportation for doctor's appointments, for grocery shopping, for all of those things that we take for granted as to what our public transportation does, especially for our seniors who are isolated. And they're facing a 17% cut from the state in their transportation grant and award. And it's a critical service to our community, but I don't see how the county can replace that, and it's going to be a challenge for that board to meet the service that's being provided with the budget cuts that are forthcoming. Sir.
Good point. Commissioner Jones?
The two meetings I had were canceled. The workforce meeting, we all gathered online and didn't have a quorum available, so they can't. They're having a real problem with the elected officials that belong to the workforce committee showing it, being in attendance. And my suggestion, you know, some of the elected folks on that board don't even reply to their email responses and everything. I told the director, I said, if I was you, I would contact their county chairman and proceed from it there and see what you can get done, because they can't do business unless we have a quorum, and it's a real problem for them because they cover the majority of the state of Kansas now, the way they've combined these things. Also, we had a meeting for EMS and Health Department, but it was canceled. The building's in the final stages, so we'll get back to you.
Very good. And do we have a grant or a ribbon cutting or anything scheduled?
Oh, we're still finalizing the date.
Okay. All right,
We'll
very good.
notify you as soon as possible.
Okay. I attended the Finney County Economic Development meeting. Those are always good and informative. Don't really have anything else to report other than get out and vote tomorrow. I had a conversation with some folks who are registered as independent, and so they don't typically vote in these primary elections. And they're like, do we need to vote because there's this constitutional amendment, and why is that on this instead of in November when all of us typically vote? And I said, that's a good question. Maybe you ought to talk to your state representatives about that. But for people to know, there is one question on there, even if you're not registered as a Democrat or a Republican, there is one question on there for everybody. So get out and vote. Tomorrow's the day. That's all I have. I believe we have need of maybe a couple of executive sessions. Is that correct?
We do.
Okay, and first one regarding attorney-client, is that how long and who should be there?
For the first one, we will have, obviously, the board The administrator, myself, and then we will have Trish Both from Folston Siefken, our outside counsel. And we will, and then we will need Mackenzie Phillips as well in that one. We will need, I probably start with 30 minutes on that one. There's a possibility we may need to extend, but start with 30 minutes.
Move to go into executive session with the members and persons identified by council for a period of 30 minutes.
Second.
And all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? So we will be back at 10:50. It is 10:50. We are returning from executive session. It appears we need another 15 minutes on this executive session. Do we have a motion to that effect?
First, move to go back into regular session from
Second.
executive session.
Second.
Oh. Siri can't do that.
Okay, and I'd ask the chair to confirm that no action was taken.
Okay, a motion to go back into regular session. No action was taken. We did have a second.
Yes.
And all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? There's none opposed. And do we have a motion to return into said executive session with the same people as before for 15 minutes?
So moved. We would come back into session at 11:15.
11:15.
Second. Or
If the clocks are correct, sometimes they're very in here.
Sounds good. All right. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. Motion.
So moved. Second.
Okay, we have a motion to return from executive session. I'll confirm no action was taken. And all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. I believe we have need for another executive session. Kara?
That's correct. This one will also be for matters of attorney-client privilege, but we will have different participants in this one. We'll have the board, we will have the administrator, myself, and then we will have Trish Joyce in there as well.
Move
For how long?
And this one, I believe the request was for 10 minutes for this.
10 minutes?
Move for executive session to include the persons named by council for a period of 10 minutes in the purpose of attorney-client privilege.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion carries. We'll be back at 11:30. session. I'll need a motion to return to regular session, and I'll confirm no action was taken.
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, and that motion carries. And one more motion.
I would make a motion that we adjourn today's meeting.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And that motion carries. Thanks, everybody.